Hey Team Tiny, alright, so today I am going to be talking about how I moved out, what I needed, and how you guys can actually move out of your parents' house, or if you're living with roommates or whoever you're living with, how to actually get your own apartment, how to get all of that stuff aligned, okay? This is stuff that I wish somebody had told me when I was growing up, when I was getting my own stuff, because a little side note, I'll do a little quick, little brief story time of how I ended up, getting my own stuff and moving out. Basically, like, I had like $6,000 on the dot saved up. Like, when I say on the dot, it was 6,000 on the dot. I think it was like 6,000 and 0.52 cents, but on the dot. Okay, so with that went so fast because it cost me like damn near like $800 just to get to Chicago, okay? Because it was like $500 for the one-way ticket. I remember that. And then it was like, so I was in Windsor at the time. That's another long story how I ended up there. But I was in Windsor and I had to be dropped down at the border of Michigan, and then I had to drive to the Detroit airport because that was like the cheapest method. It was like literally like $4.92 for the freaking ticket plus taxes. So that was like $5.34, probably something like that, baggage, all that shit. I remember it exactly. It was like $5.34 in total. Yeah, so my apologies, y'all. My phone fell and it looks like I'm gonna have to do the rest of this video standing up, unfortunately, to get this angle. And I'm using the front camera too, unfortunately speaking, just because of the type of tripod I have. Lesson learned for next time. Anyways, so it was 6,000 on the dot minus 434, which was just like my flights. Sorry, 534. So 6,000 minus 534. Then once I actually got to the border, I realized that it was almost like freaking $200 for the Detroit like taxi that we had to call, because the other taxi just literally dropped me at the border and left and couldn't cross me over. So I had to walk across the border, call me a cab real quick. The fact that I called a cab, because Uber was just not working at that time and it was way more expensive. Anyway, so that was like literally like almost $200 right there. It was messed up. And then I got there and they made me pay more for baggage. So that was like a good $800 gone from my bank. Like it was like a good like $5,100 left. I was like, I was like, damn. That was moving fast. Also, after that, like, funny story, once I went to the airport and I landed in Chicago, my little girlfriend at the time, she sent me like a little 30 for some food because, she wanted to be there for me and shit, so that was really amazing of her. But I did a lot of like budgeting and trying to understand how I could like move out. So I'm gonna tell you all the tips and tricks, so you don't have to do the research like I did, okay? So it's gonna save you a lot of time and a lot of money as well too, so you're not in the middle of some shit and be like, you know what I'm saying? So first of all, first things first, if you don't have a license, try and go get your license first, okay? I didn't get my license before I moved out, and it did put me through a hassle because I didn't know how to drive. So if you do know how to drive right now, please go ahead and get your license very first thing, okay? If you can't do that, no worries, as long as you have reliable public transportation, cool. But you do need your ID. Like, that's just a no-brainer. Like, you're going to need your ID card, point blank, period. Like, you need to get your ID, and a passport, just a passport doesn't count. You need your actual literal ID card with a physical address on it. Use a friend's if you have to, do what you gotta do. Photoshop an electric bill if you need to do that. Okay. Number 2, try and make sure your credit is built. If your credit is not built, that's something that you're gonna need to work on, because when you go to get an apartment, bro, without credit, you're gonna go through hell, just like I did, okay? You're going to go through hell. So finish building your credit first, okay? That's the very first 2 things: ID card, credit, bank account. Have a bank account, okay? Before you move out as well, try and have a bank account as well too. I think this is another no-brainer as well, because where else are you supposed to be putting your money into? And no, cash isn't about, like, you can't carry that around, because places like apartments, like things like that, they require like proof of income. Sometimes they want bank statements. Like, you need to have your shit straight up, and I didn't have none of that shit straight. Okay, I didn't have no credit score. I had an ID, I ain't had no license. I had a learner's at the time, and I fought for that. I finally had a bank account, but it was a lot. Okay, another big thing, please get your social security and get your birth certificate and your ID. These are the 3 crucial documents. So get your documents in line, okay? Before you do anything, get your documents in line. If you don't have a birth certificate, your ID card, you don't have your social security. These are the 3 crucial things to be getting: bank accounts, jobs, apartments, whatever, because if you don't have a bank account, it's going to be hard to get an apartment. It's going to be hard to start building your credit, just like little stuff like that, unless your family was lucky to put you on like a little credit line or whatever. My parents didn't do none of that for me. So here we are. You see what I was saying? I had to get all that crap by myself on my own. It sucked. So first of all, one more time, I'm going to tell y'all, get your documents in line, which is your ID card, your birth certificate, and your social security. Go get that. And if you don't have that and you're planning to move out, please go get that. There's ways online that you can go get that. I had to go through the Skokie courthouse, actually, because I was born in Evanston, to actually obtain my birth certificate. So that, and make sure you guys have pieces of mail as well too. If you don't have pieces of mail, girl, I'm from Chicago, so I'll be ghetto real quick. You can go ahead and grab somebody's little electricity bill, throw your little name on it or whatever, because that's just to go open up a little bank account if you need to, it's not causing anybody any sort of harm, so go do that if you got to, and sign up for paperless billing. You see what I'm saying? So stuff like that. Another thing that needs to be taken into account is, look, if you are moving out with no credit, it's possible. Is it more difficult? Yes, but it's possible, because it's easy to get private landlords, things like pad split. If you just need to save up real quick and you're not looking to get your own apartment and just need a space, which is basically a room that you can rent through pad split, which is your own room with a lock and stuff too, so you could do that as well too. I wish I had access to pad split back then, because it would have saved me so much time, money, hassle, all that stuff. Oh gosh. Okay. All right, so let's talk about finances now too. Okay, people be like, oh, save up 10 bands before you move out. I ain't had no 10 bands. Okay, sometimes people like me are put into unforeseen circumstances. I'm lucky I left out with 6 bands, which was very quickly 5,000, which very quickly was 4,100, because I was applying to apartments. Another thing that I want you guys to take into account, take your notes, bro, while I'm saying this stuff, because this is some real gems. Do not apply to apartments consistently if you know you don't have credit. If your credit score is not above, I would say at least 630, 650, please do not pay application fees for apartments that are requiring a credit check. Stop it, because you're gonna lose a lot of money. I lost hundreds and hundreds of dollars like that. Also, if you're trying to go on Zillow and shit like that, don't do that shit. Don't do that, because that's the worst thing on the planet, because a lot of people on there sometimes are scammers. When you're looking online, especially marketplace and stuff, it's literally a hit or miss. Make sure you're going in person to seeing those properties. Bro, my first situation was so bad. The trauma's coming back just talking about it. Holy shit, bro. So credit is definitely key. And if you don't have it, there's different ways to go about it, okay? So another thing is, let's talk about finances first before I even get into that, okay? Finances, people say save up 10 bands. I didn't have no 10 bands. It's possible with less than that as well too. Try to save up. If you're in a survival mode, real bad, 1 month of all bills is, you're gonna have to bust your ass, but I would say at least 3 months, 3 to 6 months worth of your bills, and do the math prior. Do your research. Get in touch with the apartment locator. Tell them that you don't have any credit and this is gonna be your first apartment or whatever. and they'll find you apartments, send them your way. So kind of look at the monthly and add the fees, because all apartments have fees. Ask what the fees are. Go in person if you can. Total them together. For example, if an apartment costs $1,000, there's probably a $250 application fee, maybe another $100 and $150 to live there. So in total, you're probably gonna be $1,150 in. So that's like $1,150 plus like your application fees. Okay, save that up plus 3 times. Okay, try to save that up plus 3 times, and if you can't, you better be pulling those doubles. Okay, so that's like another thing as well too. All right, so also on top of that, on top of saving your bread, if you have to leave out on an unforeseen circumstance, keep your bills as low as possible and do not get in a lease. Okay, do not get in a lease. That being said, you can use things like Pad Split. Okay, Pad Split offers by the weekly pay. So it's like $100 a week for a little ass room. It might not be the nicest, but survival is survival, point blank, period. Okay. So in total, you'll probably be spending like $500-$600 for like that room a month. Okay. So if you're spending $500-$600 in total a month for that, let's say it's $500, then that means, you got to come up with at least like $1,500 a month, just to get by. You got to come up with that as well too. So everything that you're trying to get, make sure you're making at least 3 times the amount. So that being said, car, I'm going to give an example. If your car is $1,000 in total for all expenses with gas, all that shit, insurance, blah, 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 all that, you better be making at least 3 times that as well in order to afford it. Okay, same thing with your rent as well too. Okay, and there's ways to go about that, and if you know for a fact that you're not making 3 times that, just go ahead and keep your bills as low as possible and be able to build up to that. For example, if you're moving out like on a time crunch, there's an emergency, whatever, get you a little Pad Split. Okay, save up. I would say like Pad Splits cost like $500 a month at the most. I'm assuming if you have a car, cool, but if you don't, that's also cool. Save up 3 times for that. So like, I would say if you're a first time person who's moving out and just getting like a little room, you don't have a car or anything, like I would say like 3 to 6 bands is like cool, to just be able to step out. And then you better be pulling them doubles, get you a job, but also don't leave nowhere without having your documents. If you don't have your documents, that's the very first thing that you need to do, and make sure you have a bank account as well, because without that, oh my God, it's gonna be hell. Okay, so 3 times your expenses should be 3 times. Let's say if I'm paying like $2,000 in like all bills, I need to be pushing $6,000. You see what I'm saying? Things like that in order not to go broke. I, thank God, have never struggled with a bill. Rent due tomorrow. I'm going to pay that. I'm probably going to pay it today. But that's something that you want to be able to take into account as well. All right. So the biggest 3 crucial ones is have all your documents straight. And if you can get a license before moving out, cool. And if you can't, I hope you know how to drive, because you can just go ahead and get that whenever, but it's important for you to have that, because when you do have a license, it ties into other things. You can get better jobs if you have a license. That's one thing. More jobs are going to want to hire you if you have a valid source of transportation as well too. Okay, if you have a car before you move out, well and good, and if you don't, stack it, and then go for it. Keep your bills as low as possible, especially for the first 1 year. If you gotta have some little roommates and shit, cool. But if you can't find that, go on Pad Split. Credit is important. Start building your credit. Get you some Rental Karma, sign up for it. It's like costs $50 and then $9 a month. Helps build your credit 1 point up a month as well too. So yeah, your credit is very important as well before you move out. Even if you're doing it as you go, that's fine too. But the biggest ones are having your documents straight, making sure you have a bank account, and if you don't have savings, try to save up at least like, if you know it's just rent, if you know it's just your food, all that in total is coming out to be maybe like $1,000. Save up 3 bands. Save up 3 bands if it's an emergency. If it's not an emergency, you could do that with like 6. You cool. It's possible, because I had almost nothing as well too, because by the time I did get my first apartment, I probably had like $3,200 in my bank account. I was scared. No, it wasn't 32 actually, with everything, after I had to pay her first and last month's deposit, all that stuff. Like, you gotta budget for all of that stuff, I honestly probably had like just pushing almost 3 bands on the dot. It was bad. It was real bad. I was scared. But I was really good at saving money, budgeting as much as possible as well too. So there's that. But yeah, definitely saving up and stacking your money is important. But that's not just it. You can't just stack your money and call it a day. Like, you gotta have credit and shit like that, you know. But you can do private landlords off of Marketplace as well. If you guys have any other questions, any other concerns, feel free to drop them down below as well. If you want a more intense breakdown, let me know what I missed out. I got you. But like, I try to tell people, please have all your documents. Make sure you have a bank account. Make sure you have valid bank statements coming in. Make sure you have credit. Make sure, you know, you have at least 3 times the amount of savings to last 3 months of rainy days in case shit happens. You know, I was trying to tell people all of that stuff, okay? But yeah, even if you don't have transportation, like, that's cool. Get you an apartment before you get transportation if it's a must. Otherwise, get transportation first. Make sure you could pay for it, because you can always like DoorDash and stuff to make more money, you know, if you really need to. But yeah, that's it for this video, guys. Let me know if I missed anything down below in the comment section. I got you, okay? All right, y'all. Any other questions, comments? Again, feel free to ask me. If you guys want to see more videos like this, let me know as well too. All right, bye, guys.